Well, if he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? You know who said?
What's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh.
Katt Williams, Joe Rogan, and Terrence Howard have all recently been involved in discussing the ongoing situation with Diddy and the developments surrounding his trial. It's a situation that has the public buzzing, with many big names in Hollywood and the music industry feeling the pressure as the case unfolds. The details being shared are explosive, and they've sparked a wave of reactions from fans and celebrities alike. Katt Williams, in particular, has given some chilling insights into what might be revealed as Diddy's trial progresses. The speculation surrounding Diddy's behavior has been growing, especially after recent reports from those close to him.
You know?
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people in the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala. Too.
Yeah, seriously. It's like insane.
Publicly, openly, all in.
Yes. It's like J-Lo was like his ex-girlfriend. and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
People are saying that Diddy could be ready to flip, meaning he might be prepared to expose some serious secrets if it helps him avoid facing charges. This has caused a ripple effect throughout the industry, with many people scrambling to cover their tracks. One of the most surprising developments is the involvement of Steve Harvey. Now, Steve Harvey is someone that many people would not expect to be tied to this situation. However, Katt Williams hinted at something big. According to what people are saying, when Steve Harvey learned about Diddy's indictment, he took swift action. Not only did he leave the country, but he also removed all social media posts linked to Diddy. This was a big move, considering how public their relationship once was. In fact, Harvey even had a tweet from 2017 where he called Diddy a brother and praised him for doing good work for kids. That tweet has since been deleted. It's a suspicious move that's causing people to ask some serious questions. Did Steve Harvey know more than he was letting on? Did he get too close to Diddy for power moves in Hollywood? It gets even more intense when you dig deeper into Diddy's history. Back in the day, Diddy was known for his lavish parties and his connections in the industry. He was a billionaire, the CEO of Revolt TV, and had connections with some of the biggest producers. His parties were legendary, but there were always whispers about the darker side of them. According to the allegations, Diddy was not just throwing parties. He was allegedly trying to manipulate the people around him. For example, Diddy reportedly had all the women around him wear white nail polish. This was a detail that Cassie, his ex, revealed in her lawsuit. She claimed that Diddy made the women wear white nails as part of his twisted rituals, something that was supposedly for the recordings he kept. This is chilling, especially considering that even people like Young Miami and Diddy's own mother were seen sporting the white nails. But that's not where the story ends. As more people start to speak out, it becomes clear that Diddy's network of connections stretches far beyond what anyone realized. Celebrities like Meek Mill and Usher have both been linked to Diddy, and their reactions to the ongoing situation have raised eyebrows. Meek Mill, for example, has been unusually quiet since the news of Diddy's arrest broke. This is odd because Meek and Diddy have a long history together. There's even footage of Diddy calling Meek daddy and telling him that he loves him.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
But now, in the context of all the allegations, that video doesn't seem so innocent. Fans are wondering if Meek is just trying to distance himself from Diddy to avoid getting dragged into the case.
What's up?
Yeah, y'all already know how we playing out this motherfucker. This real life.
Real life shit,
nigga,
bro.
no Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you
Talk
heard?
that shit, Meek. Yeah, Meek.
Meek Mill and P. Diddy did what? Every day there is a main story on the internet, and the goal is to never be it. Unfortunately, for P. Diddy and Meek Mill, they are the main character today, and you may be wondering why. This has to do with a lawsuit that was filed in Manhattan yesterday. It was a 70-page lawsuit filed by one of Diddy's ex-producers. The lawsuit alleges a lot in it, from P. Diddy being a really bad human being to him having...
Usher, too, has been implicated in some disturbing claims about Diddy's behavior. Usher was just a young boy when he started working with Diddy. In fact, Usher was part of what's known as Diddy's flavor camp when he was only 13. And now, people are questioning whether Diddy had Usher involved in some very questionable situations.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really.
There are even rumors that Diddy allegedly sent Usher to the hospital with injuries after an incident that is being described as very disturbing. Usher hasn't spoken much about this, but with all these allegations coming to light, it's clear that he may have been caught up in something far darker than anyone realized. The allegations continue to grow as more people speak out. People are even bringing up older interviews and footage, like a Kevin Hart interview where Diddy joked about waking up in bed with Usher when they were younger.
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking, and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them. I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the... And that's what was said.
At the time, this was seen as a joke. But with all the allegations surfacing now, it's making people question whether there was more to that story than anyone ever realized. If Usher is involved in any of these claims, he may need to get his legal team ready, as the situation could get even worse for him. And it's not just Usher and Meek Mill who are under scrutiny. There are also whispers about Jay-Z's involvement in the case. Jay-Z and Diddy have been close friends for years, and their names have both come up in some very dark rumors. One of the most shocking revelations comes from a woman named Kathy White, who was allegedly Jay-Z's mistress and passed away under mysterious circumstances after getting pregnant by him. Some people are saying that Diddy might know more about this and might even have tapes related to the situation. And it doesn't stop there. A recent lawsuit accused both Diddy and Jay-Z of being involved in a serious incident at a high-profile party after the 2000 MTV VMAs. The woman who brought the lawsuit claimed that both men were involved in the incident, but as the case unraveled, key details started to fall apart, and the case was ultimately dismissed.
Who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about with him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years.
However, this hasn't stopped the rumors from spreading, and now people are wondering what, if anything, Diddy and Jay-Z are hiding. Now things are starting to get even more bizarre. There's a growing list of celebrities who are trying to distance themselves from Diddy, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, and Ellen DeGeneres. As soon as the Diddy trial started getting attention, DiCaprio was spotted leaving the country, with some people speculating that he was trying to avoid getting caught up in the mess. The timing of his trip seemed too convenient, and people are asking if he was trying to get away before the trial started to expose more connections. Similarly, Ashton Kutcher has been quiet about his past ties to Diddy, especially after he was seen at one of Diddy's famous white parties back in 2009. Now he's saying that he has stories to tell but can't share them, which has raised even more suspicion. And then there's Ellen DeGeneres, who has gone completely off the radar. She was once very close to Diddy, with the two appearing together on her show numerous times. But now, she's been spotted in a pub in England, looking like she's trying to start fresh with a new look. Some people are wondering if she's trying to lay low to avoid being dragged into the trial, especially since she has so much history with Diddy. Ellen's actions have raised questions about whether she's trying to run from the situation before it catches up with her.
Ellen, were you surprised by the allegations about P. Diddy? Did that surprise you about P. Diddy? He's been on your show many times.
Because, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I promise you I'm not gonna let you down on this big one.
All right,
For
good.
real.
Good.
Your shoes, your feet are gonna have blisters. You're gonna be dancing so hard.
I can't wait.
As we approach the May 2025 trial, the tension is building, and more people are starting to question who else will be caught up in this mess. Katt Williams and Terrence Howard have both been very vocal about the situation, and they're not holding back.
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. He's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to.
Come on now, dog.
That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh.
Come on, man.
Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you punch them in the mouth, knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room.
They've pointed out how the entertainment industry has been complicit in all of this, and they've called out the system that allows people like Diddy to operate with such power. According to Katt, the whole industry has been involved in shady behavior. And now, the truth is starting to come out. This trial is shaping up to be one of the most talked about events in recent history. With so many big names involved, it's hard to say what will be revealed when the trial finally begins. But one thing is clear. The truth about Diddy's world is finally starting to unravel, and the fallout could be massive. As more details come out, it's likely that even more names will be dragged into the mess, and the public will finally get a look at the darker side of Hollywood that has been hidden for so long.